We have a special episode on the Ivan Herrera Show. I know that the fantasy football season has already ended, so what we're doing is we are reacting exclusively to the playoffs. And what I'm going to be doing specifically in this video is recapping and showcasing my Philadelphia Eagles fandom. I feel like I don't have many opportunities to do this, and I'm going to just recap what we saw this past Sunday. And I have to preface a lot of things here before we go into the video, before we go over the huge beatdown the Philadelphia Eagles put on the Washington Commanders. And the first thing I have to say is this does not surprise me. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm extremely psyched for Jaden Daniels. I know he's in the NFC East. I'm from the Inland Empire here in Southern California. He was doing his thing here at El Cajon High School, not too far away from where I live here in Rancho Cucamonga. The kid is someone that I have on one of my dynasty teams, and I'm super amped of how well he's been playing. But yeah, I knew going into this game that Philadelphia was going to overpower the Commanders. I know that the Commanders were playing with house money, coming off of two very impressive road victories where they beat the Buccaneers and then they beat the Detroit Lions and the #1 seed. But I got to be honest with you, even if the Detroit Lions would have won that game, I've been saying all season long, especially as it got to the very end where we saw the Eagles coming into form, the Lions obviously doing their thing as well, even with Minnesota and some of these other contending teams in the NFC. There was not one team, and I can tell you this really honestly, that was worrying me. There was not a team that made me feel like Philadelphia couldn't beat, especially if Philadelphia was just right, being how well we have been on offense as well as on defense. And I even said, too, I do not mind having the Eagles going to Detroit to win a playoff game. I mean, call it a crazy Eagles fandom within me or whatever, but I just loved our #1 ranked defense. I love the offensive line, all the weapons offensively that we have as well to go along with the great addition of Saquon Barkley. All that for me gave me all the confidence in the world that Philadelphia was going to do some damage, which leads now to the actual game on Sunday, the NFC Championship game this past Sunday between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders, 55-23. And the Eagles now advance to their second Super Bowl in 3 seasons. And for me, these are always special, because now my little girls are growing up and they get so excited with these games, and I love to dress them up for game day. So after church, we quickly rush over and we're watching the game, having a good time. And yeah, it's just, man, it's just so much fun. So now this is their second Super Bowl that they get to enjoy. So, and it comes after Jalen Hurts broke a very unique record. And here, I'm going to actually read this verbatim because I don't want to mess this up. So it says here that the previous 19 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut had never made it back since the 1990s when Jim Kelly did that. And it's just impressive. I mean, this guy, Jalen Hurts, has been someone that I feel has been getting so much disrespect. Jalen Hurts is someone that has shown time and time again since becoming a starter has been nothing but a winner. Made it to the postseason in his first season as a starter. Made it to the Super Bowl his second season. Went to the playoffs, and I get it, albeit had a very terrible meltdown last year. And now he's back again. He has some huge weapons with Saquon. The offensive line continues to get even. The offensive line continues to be strong even with the departure of Hall of Famer Jason Kelce at center. Man, it's just so awesome. I feel like this guy, Jalen Hurts, has been ridiculed all week long leading up to this game. I mean, I listened to First Take, FS1, all these guys just talking about how they didn't believe in Jalen Hurts. They loved Jaden Daniels coming into Philadelphia, potentially upsetting these Eagles. But not me. Not me. And you can even check out this video I posted on my Instagram and on my YouTube. And I made the prediction Philadelphia was going to go into this game and they were going to dominate. But yeah, let's go over the offense too. How great this Philadelphia Eagle offense is. And Saquon Barkley, I mean, good Lord, just continues to get the party started in these games. I mean, a 60-yard touchdown house call.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown! touchdown.
I mean, 15 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, man. I mean, and then as soon as Washington is now doing whatever they can to maintain Saquon and contain him so that he's not making these big plays, you have to deal with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, 6 receptions on 8 targets, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. And you know what? One of my favorite plays was the one where in the tush push, you see A.J. Brown just getting physical with Lattimore, and then you see him have this huge 4th and 5. With a 4th and 5, it was a huge 4th down play where you just see Jalen one-on-one with Marshawn Lattimore and A.J. Brown just coming up huge. And plus, I mean, you got to also give some love to Dallas Goedert. 7 receptions, 8 targets, 85 yards. I mean, all in all, Jalen Hurts had a great game. I mean, 20 from 28 in the passing game, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 rushing touchdowns. But here's one thing I just want to just make sure I'm just reading and really emphasizing when it comes to Jalen Hurts. 0 interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers. This is what has been the recipe for the Philadelphia Eagles, is winning the turnover game. And we'll get into that later, but I want to first go over how great this defense was. I got to give the Philadelphia Eagles defense some love here. I mean, for starters, we got to go with Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, this kid versus Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, I mean, 1 catch allowed. That's it. On 3 targets, 7 receptions, no touchdowns, and had an interception on that fade route that he broke up in the end zone. Now, to Terry McLaurin's credit, he did score, but that was on the other side of the field where Slay was at. And this Eagles defense, I mean, just continues to, I mean, Cooper DeJean, I mean, these guys don't miss. Only allowed 4 catches for 25 yards on 50 coverage snaps. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who came from Detroit, came back to Philadelphia, only allowed 2 catches for 25 yards. And then that Eagles defensive front line, 3 sacks. And all in all, Philadelphia had 3 fumbles, recovered each of those 3. I think one of them even came on special teams. And it's been great to watch. I mean, and here's why I've been so confident with Philadelphia, because this reminds me very similar to 2022. Because in 2022, Philadelphia's defense was very solid too. One of the better ranked defenses against wide receivers. That was the year that they even broke the record, I think, for most sacks. Led by Hassan Riddick there for that defensive line. But now you have Vic Fangio, after Dolphins players were ecstatic. Remember how excited these guys were that Vic Fangio was gone? They were tweeting about their excitement that Vic Fangio was no longer going to be part of that Miami Dolphins coaching staff. He comes into Philadelphia, has these young pieces, pieces that we were excited about. I know I was excited about Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. And even the year prior, I was excited about Jalen Carter, as well as Nolan Smith. Now these guys are coming in their own, as well as, of course, you had Nakobe Dean as well. And yet the key thing is how Vic Fangio has had the Philadelphia Eagles really dominating in this turnover battle. They are plus 10 in the turnover margin throughout the playoffs in 2024. Or 2025, I guess you want to call it. That's the best mark since the 2000 season. And another caveat here you want to add, I didn't realize this until I saw after the game. They had 7 rushing touchdowns. That is the most in a title game dating back since 1940 when the Chicago Bears did it. And now you have on the other side Saquon Barkley, who just needs 30 yards, which I think he'll get easily in that Super Bowl matchup versus Kansas City. And if he does that, he'll be breaking the great Terrell Davis, his record that he set back in 1998 for most yards in an entire season, including the postseason. And now we have the rematch that I have been looking for. I was really disheartened about Buffalo, their defeat this past Sunday. But I wouldn't be lying to you. I made the prediction. You know what? I'll show you the prediction right now.
It's like a Philly and Kansas City for a rematch of the 2023 Super Bowl.
I said that the Philadelphia Eagles would be facing the Kansas City Chiefs. And I even said, too, that Chiefs are going to win that game versus the Bills. And we'll go into that in that video tomorrow. I'll go over that matchup in detail tomorrow or the next video. But the point is, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I am extremely excited. I'm super amped. Right now, Vegas has this game, I think, as a 49 over-under, 49-point spread, 1.5 favored to the Kansas City Chiefs, which I don't blame them. But as an Eagles fan, I'm super excited. I think the Eagles are the much better talented team as far as key players. If you're going toe-to-toe, I think the Eagles are a better team all around. But you can't discredit, as the late great Coach Rudy Tomjanovich would say, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And I think the Chiefs are going to present a really great matchup. And I get that they've now embraced the villain role. You have all these different theories about referees, but we'll get into that as we preview the Super Bowl. But for now, Philadelphia, you can take a bow, my great city. You're a big fan here from the West Coast. Extremely amped. And on the fantasy football front, I'll be going over some pick'ems for the games as we get closer and closer. Some ideal lineups, and of course, some more news around whether or not Brandon Graham, will be able to play. He's going to be officially off the IR. We'll go over all those details. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you got value in it. And I want to know, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Who's going to win? Give me some scores. Who's going to be the MVP? And of course, as always, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And until next time, take care. God bless. Peace.